There comes a time when a paradigm shift happens and you have one of two options. 1. Recognize the inevitable changes and prepare for the future. 2. Allow for change to occur around you and become a prisoner to the future. With nearly 500 years of experience watching how the rules of the game change, we now have an opportunity to build and control our future. A future that brings us back to our true frequency. Supporting our families and our communities so they thrive and prosper. Now don't get it twisted, African people have been the wealthiest people on this planet. Mansa Musa's wealth was around $400 billion. Don't let this social structure make you believe that Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos are the wealthiest people ever. Nah, we got that one. We excel at everything we do when we believe in our abilities. So, now is the time. We can take Coin and show the world that when you believe in community and group economics, anything is achievable. Coin is the crypto for the culture.
I had myself muted. Lord have mercy. Hey, everybody. How y'all doing today? I pray you guys are having a great day. I don't know about you, but it's been a nice day to enjoy this weather. Got a nice school day, so I took that as a work day for myself. Didn't do anything, took off and just slept all day and rested. Listen, I told you guys we would come together once a week on my public page, but for the past 3 days, my church has been having an event called, or not an event, but a thing called a Intercessor's Porch. And we've been interceding and praying for the state of Maryland, for this U.S., just against all of these Omicronian and all these other things that the enemy is trying to put up as a smoke screen. So I will be going live next week publicly, but I still wanted to commit to coming on and talking with you guys about this week's topic. I didn't want to lose that fire, lose the retention and the information that I had, and I wanted to really pour this out to you all. It's the first week, technically, of the new year, and I just want to set order. I want to set guidance. I want to bring about some encouragement and some peace to you. And the only way we can do that is by embracing truth and embracing peace. Okay, you guys? So the only way you can experience true harmony in your life is being obedient and embracing the truth. Okay, so when we try to go against things, when we try to make something that's not that it is what it is, and you're trying to change it to something else, that's when we start having these problems in life. And when we start trying to do things in our own willpower, this is where we began to have certain problems. So you guys see right there on the screen, you see the scripture that is up. If you have the word, that's fine. If not, you're going to hear me talk about it. He that has an ear, let them hear. I say this all the time, you guys. I don't talk for agreement. I'm not here for you to agree and to like and to love and to cherish. I'm here for enlightenment. So there's someone out there who has been looking for guidance. There's someone out there who's been looking for another way. There's someone out there who's been looking for something to bring them to the next level. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is it right here. You've been missing this out. You've been having the missing link in life because, like I said, we've been trying to do it in our own willpower. But you have to understand, you can fool man, you can trick people into thinking that you will get the wealth and you will have the riches, and you can try to rig the system to where as though it can reap your benefits, but it will only last for so long. Okay, my Father owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. My Father knows how to turn the king's hearts in whichever way he pleases. And so when you learn how to go to the source instead of going to created beings and created sources like the universe and crystals and other things, these things were created. They might have some type of power, but they don't have the unlimited power. They aren't the source of it all. Okay, you guys. So Deuteronomy 8 and 18 says, "But thou shalt remember the Lord thy God, for it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant, which he swore unto thy fathers, as it is this day." It is unto God who gives us the power to get wealth, you guys. He made a promise to Abraham. He made a promise to our forefathers that we would be fruitful, that we would live and prosper, and that our seeds would be as the sand. It is up to us to walk into that inheritance, walk into that generational inheritance, and come to the reality. Like I said, we cannot do this in our own willpower, but it says it right there in 18, is unto God who gives us the power to get wealth. Now, you guys, I'm not one to just preach one excerpt, preach one scripture, and not give you a little bit of a background, give you a little bit of an understanding, give you a little bit of a depth and of a story. So today I want you to walk with me. I want you to journey with me. We're going to go a little bit higher and look up a little bit. Excuse me. Look up a little bit into the scriptures, and we're going to read our way down. And for those of you who are just joining, go ahead, like and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in to Entrepreneurs Bible Study. Today is Entrepreneurs Bible Study, and the topic is Deuteronomy 8 and 18, where God gives us the power to get wealth. It is unto him who gives us the power to get wealth. All right, you guys. So if you go up a little bit to verses 11, it says, "Beware that thou forget not the Lord thy God, in not keeping his commandments and his judgments and his statutes, which I commanded thee this day. Lest thou hast eaten and art full, and hast built goodly houses and dwelt therein. And when thy herds and thy flocks multiply, and thy silver and thy good is multiplied, and all thou has multiplied, thy heart be lifted up, and thy forget the Lord thy God, which brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage, who led thee through the great and terrible wilderness, wherein were fiery serpents and scorpions and drought, and where there was no water, no brought thee forth water out of the rock of flint, who fed thee in the wilderness with manna, which thy fathers knew not, that he might do good in the latter end. And thou said in thy heart, my power and might of mine have gotten me this wealth." And then it reads 18, "But thou shalt remember the Lord thy God, for it is he that giveth thee the power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant, which he sware unto thy fathers, as it is this day." 19 goes along as well and says, "And it shall be, if thou do it all, forget thy Lord thy God, and walk after other gods, and serve them and worship them, I testify against you this day, and you shall surely perish. As the nations which the Lord destroyeth before your face, so shall you perish, because you would not be obedient," there's that word, obedience in truth, "unto the voice of the Lord your God." You guys, I'm old school. I got my Bible still. You see, it's all beaten up. I actually read it. That's why. I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to beat up. I'm not here to push or to make anyone feel bad. Rather, I want you to journey with me on a story, and I pray that you get some type of hearing, some type of understanding, some type of verbiage from this for your life. Whether you learn from my mistakes, whether you realize it earlier and sooner than I did, okay, you guys? But at the age of 16, I was a junior in high school, okay? And the school that I went to was a good school, but the students weren't that good, if that makes any type of sense. We had AP, we had a lot of those things, but just kids they didn't care. And I'm not going to speak for everyone, but you could just tell some kids just didn't care, okay? And growing up, I was a nerd, all right? All right, I know, yeah, shocker. And I was in anime and all of those things, but my mom was in corrections. She worked at Charles Hickey School, is no longer here, so it was a correctional house for youth, and she was a correctional officer there for many, many years. And her being there as a correctional officer and trying to venture out into other ventures in life inspired me and made me want to become a police officer. So I'm a sheriff at the Anne Arundel County Sheriff's Department at the courthouse. I'm out there interning. I'm only supposed to intern for the summertime, but because of my excellence, because of the grace of God on my life, because of just this beautiful smile, I ended up staying longer, and I ended up being on their CERT team, and I ended up a lot of things just happening, and God's grace really showed himself strong in my life. And at that time, I thought it was me. Just like the scripture said, my things started multiplying, my life started to multiply. I ended up, because of this internship, becoming a manager or becoming an employee at Chick-fil-A, and then moving up in the ladder and becoming a manager and then a GM by the age of 18. I'm graduated out of high school, and I'm running my own store, and I'm traveling and opening up other stores, and my life began to multiply. My life began to grow. My life began to double, okay? And I got cocky. If you read my magazine interview, if you read a lot of interviews that I say, I always say I get cocky, but I got cocky, and I did things that I should have done, and I overlooked certain things that I should have addressed, and at the end of the day, as the leader, it's your fault. So no matter what happens, no matter who did what, you're still the leader, okay? And so I took the hit, and I decided I'm going to leave. I'm going to bow down. I'm going to resign. And at that time, I was humbled a lot. I was 3 weeks away from getting married, 2 weeks into before getting married. So a week later, my wife tells me she's pregnant. So all of this is hitting me. Life is just starting to go at a whirlwind. And I'm thinking that I had all of these things in order. I'm thinking that I knew what to do. I'm thinking that I was the big kahuna and nobody could tell me nothing. I had this money. I had investments. I had a 401k. I was good. But I forgot who gave it to me. I started following other things. I started dibbling and dabbling into crystals and into other divinations, and learning about other certain powers that are, but they aren't the main power. And this is why I talk to you guys the way I do, because I've been there. I've done it, but I want you to learn from my mistakes. I don't want you to go down the same road just because you're looking for stability, just because you're looking for power. Jesus is the ultimate source. Jesus is the true source. Jesus is the power. And if it's not lifting him up, if it's not raising him up, if it's not bringing him to the front, you don't need it. He is all that you need. He is everything that you want. He is in the Bible from the beginning to the end. You just have to look for him. You just have to find him in his wisdom, in his words, in his expression. Jesus is in the Bible from beginning to end. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with him. And the Word was God, the Word was with him in the beginning. So when God created Adam and Eve, Jesus was there. Jesus has been there from the beginning, you guys. You just have to learn how to tap in. Okay, so going back to Deuteronomy 8 and 18, it is unto God who grants us the power to get wealth. So I'm at my lowest, okay? This is 2016. I just got married. I'm looking for ways out. I'm working temp agencies. I'm doing certain network marketing things where I'm helping people with credit. And yeah, at that time, it was helping a little, but you had to do so much stuff. And that was really a pyramid scheme. Y'all be thinking stuff I'm doing. Nah, that was really pyramid scheme. You had to get people this way and that way. And it was just so much, just too much. Okay, just too much. So I gave up. Sasha, y'all hear my little bird flying in the background. Sasha, sorry, Sasha, Sasha. Lord Jesus, I said her name. So I gave up, okay, and I did things I shouldn't. I started drinking, selling the good greens of the earth, and trying to build my money and my own willpower, my own things, my own way. And my wife wasn't used to that. She didn't grow up like that. I grew up West Side, Pennsylvania Avenue, Baltimore City. Like I'm from the gutter. So she's Glen Burnie, lived in Georgia with her parents in the military base. Like it's a lot. Like it was two different spectrums. So when things started happening with me, she couldn't take it. So we separated, we left, split up, and I still was trying to do things in my own willpower. Ended up getting a car because you fast money, good money, you can do certain things. So I ended up getting a car and getting certain things in order. I'm doing Lyft and Uber. And one day, it's out there, so might as well. Under the influence, not paying attention, I get in an accident. Not knowing that a few days later, I would be missing a payment and them starting to come for my car. And now I'm in an accident. So all of that's starting to process. So because I've turned my car in and I'm canceling insurance, now it looks like I don't have insurance. All these things just start happening, guys. So 2017 became a year of turmoil and a year of really reaping what I've sown, And I know a lot of us, we hear that all the time and we just hate it. Apparently, you reap what you say, you reap what you sow. But you have to go through those things and you need to start learning how to plant good seeds. So 2017, I'm open to the opportunity of MWR, Make Wealth Real. It's another credit, but they do more of a home-based business, and they do another component where they help you with your W-4s, and they help you get into real estate, from getting your credit together, and all of these things. So I step into that in 2017, and I meet my mentor, Boomy Moore, and she's like, how can I help you get your $1 million? And I'm like, what? I just wanted to get some money, but she's like, how can we help you get your first million? So now my mindset, my paradigm begins to shift. And we come up with Young Money Muggles. Didn't know that I was going to create that, but we come up with that. I have the Facebook group, but at that time I only had 20, 30 people in it, not a lot of people and not a lot of just input. I really yes. 1 second, okay, I'm almost done. So, now I'm doing Young Money Muggles, and God begins to show himself to me again. What do you mean by that, Kenyon? A lot of you are at the low level in God, and I want you to hear me. Please just get what I'm saying. Getting all of the blessings and all of these surprises and all of these things, that's God showing you and reminding you and constantly loving you and giving you. But as you grow up, certain things just come because you're a son. Certain things just come because of who you are. You don't always be like, oh, thank you, Lord, for this blessing. Okay, God, you got me. This is you. I know this, And so in the beginning, he was getting my attention and he was giving me a lot of blessings and a lot of opportunities. And there was a lot of moments where I was just like, okay, God, you're really looking out for me. Thank you. I haven't acknowledged you. I haven't said thank you in a while. I haven't, prayed to you in a while. I haven't read my word, but thank you. And out of nowhere, I get introduced to this church that I've now been going to for the past 3 years, 4 years almost, if you want to say. And my first day there, literally, get called up. The power of God gets hit on me like there's nothing. You can't tell me God isn't real because of the experiences I had. This lady called me up and literally expressed and told my whole freaking last year to me and talked to me about how God was going to redeem me and all of these extra things that was said. And it really shifted my mindset and began to put me back on a journey of moving forward and growing and leaning back onto God. And I left because I thought, sometimes you get a prophetic word and you don't understand the timing. So I left thinking that I was doing the right thing. And I went to North Carolina. I'm gone. I'm out of town. I'm away. But at this time, God actually did do something. I had to learn how to grow up. I shouldn't have left. Talking to my leaders and such, I should have been here with my family and fighting for my family and such. But I left, and I'm glad that I did because it taught me to grow up. I lived out in the boonies in a trailer, worked at Food Lion as a manager, and I had to walk to work at times, miles, hours to get to work. I had to make sure my rent was paid, walk and get money orders, and have family help me and do laundry. I really had to grow. And being down in North Carolina, I was with my family. And being with my family on my father's side, it helped me because I was going through so much on my mom's side that it started to reconfigure my mindset and my views on family. And then around that time, my leaders at my church here in Maryland began to come out with books and content. And so I was still able to stay connected and learn and glean from them. And when I went when I went and started reading these books, I started to learn that our views of God is our views of how our parents are. So if you hate your parents, if your parents are inconsistent, if they lie, if you don't trust them, it's going to be hard for you to trust and lean and pray on God. So that started to do a whole lot of detoxing and deep work and reconfigurations. And so 2020 comes, and I have the opportunity to move back with my wife and start over and begin anew and try to really do this thing. So now it's 2022. I've been here. I've been working in my business since August of 2020, and I have been really living this thing out, and it's all been the grace of God. I've had so many encounters. I've had so many times in prayer that I can't really share with you guys about, and just how he's shown me things and told me what he's expected and wanted from my life. And I'm learning. I said this in the beginning. I'm learning obedience and walking in truth brings you harmony in life. What do you mean by that? You hear so much, obedience is better than sacrifice. So you guys hate that scripture. And you don't understand the trueness of obedience. When you obey and you do what's expected of you, you align yourself up for spiritual blessings. People call it the universe, but there's actually laws that God put in place: reaping and sowing, reciprocity, all of these things that he set in place, that if you obey and you do what you're supposed to do, and you pay your tithes, he rebukes the devourer for your sake. You can literally walk in a land, an open heaven, a land of Goshen, where wherever you are, you're in an open heaven, baby. All right. We are in 2022, and I've been trying to teach my mentees this. And one of them, we finally had the discussion yesterday about him getting a home, and it clicked for him. You don't have to live poor, even in the states that you're in. We're in a townhouse, but we have a farm. We have animals. We have luxury furniture. We have Macs, TVs. I have plants all over. We make do with what we have. Change your perspective. Be grateful. Gratitude will shift you and shake you out of a lot of things that you guys are in. Be grateful and realize that we're in the middle of a pandemic. You're still alive. You're still making money. I don't know about you. I'm still making money. I'm still in the black, okay? It's been Black Friday for me since 2020. I don't know about nobody else, but I've been prospering. Why? Because I've been leaning on God. When I can't do it, I go back to God and say, listen, when something comes up and it's like hard, I go right to prayer and I say, okay, God, you gave this to me. I'm not moving any further. I'm not stressing myself out anymore because you gave this to me. So it's up to you. It's your responsibility to get this done. And a lot of us don't know how to give the invoice to the right person. Maybe it's because I'm in business, so I understand. I don't even look at my invoices. I send them to my CFO. He handles it. And my accountants. But you need to learn how to go right to God in prayer and understand, hey, you gave this to me. Hey, I say it all the time. Go back to the manufacturer. If you had a problem with your Toyota, you don't go to Nissan and say, hey, fix this. You go to Toyota and you say, hey, you guys, can you help me with this? It's the same principle, same mentality. You came from God. He gave you these ideas. He gave you these dreams. He gave you these inventions. It's up to him to fund it. And when you truly rely on him and trust in him and lean on him, it will manifest. I'm a living witness. I'm a living witness. No, things aren't perfect. I keep saying that. But you are alive. I'm living in an open heaven. When others aren't prospering, we're prospering. When others aren't making it, we're making it. Okay? And you have to shift your mentality. Like I said, gratitude will shake you out of a lot of things. Gratitude will lift you up from a lot of things. When you learn how to be grateful for where you are and be grateful for where you're heading to, oh my God, it shifts you. So, Entrepreneurs Bible Study, you guys, we're reviewing Deuteronomy 8:18. It is unto God who grants us the ability to get wealth. A lot of us are trying to do it in our own willpower, and this is why we're getting the results that we're getting. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So let's do something different. Let's lean on God this year. It's the top of the year. It's the beginning of the year. We've done crystals. We've done everything else. We've talked to the universe. We've done all these other things. But now let's learn how to lean on God. Let's lean on to the true source. He owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. He's the one that supplies all your needs. He's the one who's the creator. He's the author and the finisher of our faith. We need to learn and recognize. I just said, you guys, if you have a problem with Toyota, you don't go to Nissan. So why do we keep going to other things? We go to created beings when we need to go to the source. I know some of you won't agree with that gospel, but like I said, I'm here for enlightenment. I'm not here for agreement. It is unto God who grants us the ability to get wealth, you guys, all right? And when we learn how to tap into that, when we learn how to raise our level of thinking, raise our consciousness, and stop thinking this stinking thinking. Poverty is a stinking thing. It's a low-level thinking, and we must raise ourselves. We must challenge ourselves this year. The reason why you didn't grow in 2021 is because you didn't challenge yourself. You didn't apply a new skill set to your life. It's time to grow. It's time to come higher. It's time to do the things that you said you were going to do and the things that you dreamed that you wanted to do. It's time for it to come alive. It's time for it to come alive. It's time for it to awaken in you. No more living this mundane life. Like I said, the way you live in harmony in this life is to walk in obedience and to walk into truth. The truth is that God is the source and the supply of all of your needs. The truth is that he's never seen his children begging for bread nor begging for seed. The truth is that he is our hiding place. He is a strong tower where the righteous run in and they are safe. Do you believe these things? We hear these scriptures so much from preachers. We hear these scriptures so much from other people in our family that they have been dulled. They have been desensitized in our ears. And we forget that he is our true strong tower. He is our true rock. Learn that. We're going to talk about foundations next week and understand that your foundation is key. A lot of us, our life is shaky because our foundation is shaky. It all starts at the core. So you guys, we've been on here for almost a half an hour. I'm grateful for all of you that's tuned in. If you haven't already, go ahead and like this, share this, send this to a family or a friend, whoever needs to hear this. But we've talked about Deuteronomy 8:18, you guys, today. Entrepreneur's Bible study. It is unto God who grants us the ability to get wealth. It's no longer time for us to keep doing this in our willpower. Sasha, I'm sorry, y'all. I know y'all been see her flying around and stuff. I let her walk around. She's got a little diaper on her, but she's a little happy today, so she's flying extra. I don't know what's going on. But it is unto God who grants us the ability to get wealth. Okay, you guys? Shift your mindset. If you want to review this live, go ahead and do that for me. Let me know who's in here. It doesn't really tell me. It says Facebook user, but I see a lot of people commenting and putting stuff in here. So I'm loving it. You guys are awesome. Thanks for joining. We're going to try to do this every week. Every week we're going to try to do this, okay? Entrepreneur's Bible study is unto God who grants us the ability to get wealth. I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Listen, God loves you and so does I, all right? So do I. Stop beating yourself up. It's 2022 and you made it this far. Imagine what the future has for you.